Hi everyone. As you may already know, Bolivia is facing right now a tough political moment. Evo Morales recently dismissed his charge and an interim government was installed. This has created economic and social consequences, and as in every political issue, the media is also involved. In this video, I will show you a timeline that exposes the status of press freedom during Evo Morales' government at the transition and now during this interim government of Yanina's. By doing this, we will get to know how this new political status of Bolivia has affected press freedom. So let's start. This is the situation of press freedom in Bolivia by 2018 during Evo Morales' government. Since he became president, he repeatedly denounced that he was persecuted and boycotted by the press. That's why he decided to create and strengthen national press. It was he who created Radio Patria Nueva and Bolivia TV and other national media channels to equilibrate the balance in his words. Evo even created a communication secretary in appearance to guarantee press freedom, but indeed, several journalists denounced that the secretary was setting the agenda that the media could cover in the whole country. During this time, Bolivia was one of the worst countries to be a journalist in the region. Let's see this graphic that contains the classification of press freedom made by Reporters Without Borders every year.
Here in this graphic, you will get to see the position of Bolivia in the press freedom classification made by Reporters Without Borders every year. The higher the number, the worse the position is.
The Bolivian press was often at the epicenter of tensions between supporters and adversaries of President Evo Morales, in power since 2006. The media was under strong pressure not to make negative comments about the government or the president. On the one hand, anonymous journalists could be victims of judicial fury. On the other hand, by virtue of Supreme Decree 181 adopted in 2009, the official publicity was not given to media that lied to partisan politics or offended the government. This financial pressure carried great weight since Bolivia is one of the poorest countries in South America. In September 2018, the president announced that he wanted a law against lies to be enacted, which provided criminal penalties for politicians and journalists for spreading fake news. This caused great concern among journalists who saw in the bill an instrument with which the government could censor criticisms against him. The relationship between the government and the press was already turbulent, but it became dramatic last October during general elections in Bolivia. Press control was denounced by CPJ and RWB. What happened during the elections? Evo was leading the vote counting, but his opponent was not too far. In this scenario, a second round was necessary, but the vote counting transmission was interrupted, and 3 days later, Evo was declared president. This led to many protests, and after 20 days, Evo was forced to dismiss his charge. An interim government was instituted, led by Martinez. The protests started in October and lasted until November 2019. Bolivia was immersed in a political crisis and sunken chaos, while attacks on press multiplied. During those weeks, there were acts of intimidation, harassment, threats, physical attacks, and even theft of equipment of journalists. Vandalism reached the media, and even some radio and television stations were censored. Since the date of the presidential elections, Reporters Without Borders has registered at least 30 cases of violation of press freedom. During this situation of extreme polarization, both the media close to Evo Morales and the opposition press were in a crossfire and conditions of great vulnerability. In 2019, Bolivia got his worst classification at the press freedom ranking made by Reporters Without Borders in 15 years. The election year was tough and the press suffered. The interim government has been in power less than 6 months and it has already been criticized for violating press freedom. Bolivia's new Minister of Communication, Roxana Lizárraga, is installed by the country's self-determined president, Janine Áñez, has been criticized by the Bolivian National Press Association for her veiled threats to journalists. And even more recently, Human Rights Watch warned that the decree issued by the government of Janine Áñez, which establishes measures against the spread of COVID-19, includes a provision excessively broad and vague that enables the authorities to criminally prosecute those who criticize public choice. It seems that expectations in the press freedom matter are not too high in this transitional government, and they have kept the ancient custom of controlling and censoring press. As you will already conclude, this country has a troubling political history. This has directly affected press freedom. Evo Morales used to control and censor opposition journalists, and Janine Áñez has tried to do the same. On 3rd May, the country is expected to have new elections, and we will see who is going to be the next president of Bolivia and how press freedom is going to be affected by his or her government. Thank you for watching.